Greetings and salutations, everybody. I hope you're all having a wonderful day. You are listening to Raven Review, and today we are going to be reviewing Star Wars: The Legends of Luke Skywalker. This is a junior novel by Ken Liu. It's a junior novel, like I said. It's got about 400 pages. I may get some things wrong. I'm just be honest with you guys. I had to return the book to the library. So, sorry. But I am going to have Miko help me. She's going to say the title of the different stories, which is there's 6 Luke Skywalker stories. Meanwhile, as I tell these stories, I'm also going to be telling like the hidden or the story within the story, which happens a lot in this book. But it's a really good book. So, whatever. So let me roll the spoiler thing because I get into the meat and potatoes of everything, and I'm not going to try to like ruin things, but I kind of do ruin things. So, anyways, let's get into meat and potatoes. Roll the spoiler clip.
1, 2, 3.
We have this crew of, I guess you could call them misfits, that are all on a freight ship, I guess. And the captain and the first mate are definitely older, and then the rest of the crew is definitely younger. So we have the first story, which is called...
The first story is called The Mythbuster.
And that story is actually very entertaining. And I will get into all the different stories and what I think about them in a minute. But anyways, the first story is about a story about Luke Skywalker basically going to a bar and hearing a story about New Hope. And this guy like totally like messes up the entire thing. Like he calls him Luke Dumpire or something like that. And there's like the century turkey, and how basically everything is like a giant con, and Luke and Han have been together for a while, and the old man Obi-Wan Kenobi, he's like the mastermind behind the entire con thing. It's actually pretty funny. It's an really entertaining story. So, in any case, that's the first story told by the captain.
The second story is called The Starship Graveyard.
And I do believe this one's called by the first mate, told by the first mate. So, basically it's about a stormtrooper that gets saved by Luke Skywalker on Jakku. And he gives the story of like Luke Skywalker basically being like a god-like Jedi, and that he's jumping onto Star Destroyers and crashing them together with the Force, and he can manipulate anything into anything and stuff like that. And Luke finds the stormtrooper and wants to basically save him, but the stormtrooper's not having any of it. He's just giving Luke a lot of hate. Eventually they find a fortress for where he can get medical care and he can be saved and this and that. And there's a little bit of an adventure that happens there. The stormtrooper does ask him, are you Luke Skywalker? And his reply is, there's a little Skywalker in everybody. And I thought that was a great line, and I thought that was a great way to end the story. So it's a good story. Then they move on to the girl, and how she's basically like been buying extra food and disappearing and eating by herself and stuff like that, and everyone thinks it's kind of suspicious, especially this younger boy. He thinks it's kind of weird. You go to find out that it's actually she's taking this food to a stowaway, and they're trying to keep she's trying to keep the stowaway pretty quiet, but she gets busted with the stowaway by the boy. And so the stowaway, I think her name is Sif, I think. She tells her story.
The third story is called Fishing in the Deluge.
So, With that story, Luke goes to a planet that's kind of like Octu. It's mostly water and a bunch of islands, and everybody flies on birds and stuff like that. And he learns this new way of using the Force called the tie or the tide. Um, and it's basically a way of like surrendering yourself to the Force instead of forcing the Force to do things that you wanted to do. Because if Luke wants to move something, he thinks about it and he makes that thing move. And this allows him to be more relaxed and stuff like that. And he does give the teacher, who's an elderly person, a bunch of crap, and they kind of have a little bit of fun banter and stuff like that. And I thought it was really neat. And Luke learns a lot of different ways on how to use the Force, and he has to go through a trial and stuff like that in order to be taught this new way of using the Force. And it's a really good story. I really enjoy it. It's like one of the best ones, I think, out of the whole book. The next one, they're basically hiding and stuff like that. The kids are hiding with the stowaway and stuff like that. And now they get busted by the android. I don't remember the droid's name at all, so I do apologize. But he does have a story, and his story is this.
The fourth story is called I've Droid.
So, basically, it's a story about RTD2 being captured by basically slave traders and thrown into basically like mines and stuff like that are full of like toxic acid kind of stuff. They would basically kill a human being or an alien being of any race. And so the droids, because they're made out of metal, they can work in these harsh mines and basically take out this mineral in order to make these slave traders more rich and stuff like that. So eventually Luke Skywalker does show up and rescues RTD2 and rescues the rest of the robots. The story isn't told through like RTD2's point of view. It's told by a different robot who is forced to hurt the other robots. So it's a neat story. It's a different point of view. I think it would have been kind of interesting if it was told through RTD2's point of view, but it's not. It's told through a different robot's point of view. And so this one might possibly be true, just because droids don't really tend to lie. So that one I may actually believe. The next story is...
The fifth story is called The Tale of Lugubrious Moat.
And this story is told by... I think it's told by the girl. I might be wrong. I might get them mixed up. I think it's told by the girl, but it might be told by the boy. But I want to say that it's told by the girl. So basically, it's about this fleet that retells the events that happen in Jabba's palace and how he basically saved Luke Skywalker's ass by telling Luke on what he should or should not be doing in order to like move left or move right or stick a bone in a Rancor's mouth and stuff like that, because the fleet doesn't honestly believe in the Force, but he pretends to be the Force to Luke because Luke really doesn't have the Force, is the way the fleet pretty much puts it. So it's an entertaining story. It's not believable in any way whatsoever. It's overly exaggerated like hell. So that's the fifth story. The sixth story, like I said, I think it's told by the girl or the boy. I'm not 100% sure again on that one. I don't remember. I'm sorry.
The sixth story is called Big Inside.
So basically there's this girl and she's a researcher and she's checking out this planet and her ship breaks down and Luke saves her in his A-Wing, which I thought was weird that he had an A-Wing. But in any case, he has an A-Wing. and they end up in a space slug somehow. And Luke doesn't really want to hurt the slug in any way. So they're just kind of like traveling through it, maybe to figure out a different way out without actually hurting the creature. When they come across these ancient beings called Mistweavers, and they use the power of the mist, which is a different form of the forest. Well, they live within time and space. So they live in the past, the present, and the future at all times. And when they find them, they're in like a chrysalis, like a cocoon kind of place. So Luke uses the Force in order to contact them, and then they teach Luke on how to use the mist in order to break them free, and for they could pass on or go into the next plane of existence, because they realize that it's time for them to move on into the next form of existence. So Luke does that. They get rest. They figure out, how to get out of the worm, and Luke contacts the girl again, and she pretty much changes her field of study to studying space slugs, which I thought that was really interesting that they put that in there. So then you're end of the book. You have the crew again. They go like through a sewer drain and all this other stuff, and have a little bit of an adventure on Katobite, and the captain asks them where they were, and they kind of like laugh about it and say, oh, nothing, and just checking out the sights and kind of thing. And it's a really neat thing. I like the story. You find out that Scythe, I think her name is Scythe, the one that's on the water planet that's the stowaway, her whole goal was basically to hopefully find Luke Skywalker again and maybe learn some more stuff from him or teach him some more stuff. I just thought it was kind of neat. That was at least the impression that it left me of what her goal was of getting away from the planet she's from. So overall, the book itself is really good. It may be a junior novel, but Mr. Kim Liu, writes a really good story. I was entertained the whole time. If I got into a story, I really wanted to finish the story before I got into another story. It's just how I liked the book. So as far as me rating the book, I'm going to rate the book as a buy it. It's just entertaining and stuff like that. And if you're a big Luke Skywalker fan, you'll probably more likely enjoy the stories. I know some people may come off as saying that he's a little bit too passive and stuff like that, but Luke has always been passive. And he will fight when he has to fight, but it's not his first choice. And we see that in the Return of the Jedi. It's there. He doesn't really want to fight. So, like I said, I enjoyed the book. It's very entertaining. Definitely check it out. It's well worth it. I think it is. And if you guys don't want to buy it new, that's fine. I get it. You can go to a used bookstore. I happen to have one that I go to a lot. I will give you guys some more information at the end of this video about it. So, thank you for listening to Raven Review. I'm Raven, and like always, don't forget to give somebody a hug. It may change the day, may change their life. And yeah, definitely check out Star Wars Legends of Luke Skywalker. And here's some information on where to get the book. Talk to you all later. Bye.
Hello YouTubers. Miko here to tell you about thriftbooks.com. They are a awesome website. They have all the books you could dream of but at super low prices. Yes, they are a online use bookstore, but you can't even tell that the books that you get from them are used. Also, when you make an account, you can also make a wish list. That way, if one of the books that you want is not currently available, Thrift Books will let you know that it is available because it was on your wish list. So give thriftbooks.com a try for all your book needs. Also, there is an app if you'd like to try that too. Also, before I go, I would like to say that Raven and I are not being sponsored by Thrift Books in any way whatsoever. We just want to let you guys know about this awesome store for all your book needs. Thank you for watching Raven Review. Please remember to push the subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you know when a new video has been posted. Also, don't forget to like or dislike the video you just watched. Then you can be a awesome person by sharing this video with all your friends on your social media networks. Have an awesome-tastic day and thanks for watching.